Right, welcome back to Monster, episode 36. Holy shit, what the fuck? I just want to continue here. The only thing I have to ask is, how long is this arc gonna go on? Because it's been going for some time, and we're still going, Are we gonna spend the rest of the entire fucking series in Munich? Is this what's gonna happen, or... No, I think the next, next week it's probably gonna end and we're gonna get somewhat split apart again. Maybe some of our characters meet and actually stick together. Please. I mean, Rudy and Reichwein are already together. But they're also heading in there, so people could die, so I don't know. Let's just fucking jump into it. No intro, nothing. I have Monster episode 30. No, 37 actually. Sorry, 37. A monster without a name. I have it lined up right here and ready to go. A 3, a 2, a 1. Yeah, I was the one who saved that monster. And he feels responsible. We have a little bit of a recap here. He feels responsible for taking that monster out of life, basically. Because he was the one who saved the life. Who created it, more or less. Well, not created it, but saved that monster. And Lunga is just... Lunga, you fuck nugget. Stop building attention, please. Just make it happen.
Tenma が狙っているのはシューバルトだよ。
And Lunga won't be able to tell the difference between him aiming at Schubert and Johann. Did she really not find Johann? Asking the real questions. And her seeing the book. That was the last thing we saw. I do. It almost feels like she's already feeling weird looking at it and hearing picture book. The twitchiness is certainly very similar. Ooh. These whispering effects? Yeah, they're still there. The creepy noises. And of course we do have the... All right, let's get this shit started. I'm burning for it. Ooh, the picture book. The picture book. Mukashi mukashi. This looks very much a monster without a name. Yeah, it's the fucking picture book we saw on DD. I fucking knew it. Wanted a name, right? No identity. Find who you are. Split in two. West and east. Okay. A village. I want your name. I'll help you, and you help me. But it's gonna destroy him from the inside. Family. Celebrated by everyone, right?
僕を見て、僕を見て、僕の中の怪物がこんなに大きくなったよ。バリバリ、ぐしゃぐしゃ、バキバキ、ごくん。
Bucky Bucky. And everybody was afraid. And then it lost its name again, right? It wasn't Otto anymore. Used it all up. Destroy everything you touch. But did he do it out of malice? A children's book, of course, right? Nameless again. Or a big name that he wouldn't immediately eat up. Something he can use for longer. A sick boy. Okay, interesting. Maybe the boy who died and who he replaced. Cure my illness. I do wonder what the... Okay. He was hungry, right? He wanted to kill more. Ooh, this is interesting. Lieberts? Like the original? The Eastern diplomats? I mean, we went to the East, right? East Germany. And where did his journey take him? Which one was the monster that traveled to the west? Is that Nina? But I don't know, she's not a monster, right? Except who you are. What does that mean? And it is Johann. The monster without a name. How did he eat the sibling? He didn't, right? I guess she understands Czech. But she can read it. Johann, maybe. She doesn't know. That's the problem. She doesn't have a name, and not a real one, right?
丸ごとランガと名乗っていた売春婦も撃たれて死んだ。この本を読んでから最近あったいろんな変なことがまるで一つの塊みたいになんで私にのしかかってくるわけ？何から何までヨハンに結びついちゃうような気がするのはなんでよ。ごめん、つい興奮して。
You're in over your head, Lotte.
その彼、その本を見てそっとした彼はそんなに私に似てるの？双子みたいに、私と双子みたいにそっくりなのね。あなたの友達のヨハンは。彼は今どこに？
She did really not find him interesting.
大学図書館で蔵書寄贈のセレモニーに。
And everything comes together again, and she wants to kill him too. Fuck me, dude.
ちょっとね、ニナ、ちょっと待ってよ、待ってってば。
Is fate gonna save Johan again? Is it?
本日シューバルト財閥の代表であるハンス・ゲオルグ・シューバルト氏のご尽力により、当ミュンヘン大学フリードリッヒ・エマヌエル公図書館に寄贈される膨大な蔵書の数々は非常に重要かつ貴重なものであり、我がドイツの至宝とも言えるものであります。我々はこの膨大な人類の英知を残していく義務が。
Schubert in contemplation.
次の若い世代へ。
He has a poker face. You don't know what's going on inside of him. I mean, same for Johan, right?
しましてフリードリッヒ・エマヌエル公学長シュタインベック教授のご挨拶です。
Wouldn't he hear somebody approach? But if he's so focused, maybe not. Ach, Tenma. That's the problem with you, right? Das ist das Problem. Das bist nicht du. Yeah, it's not you, dude.
引き金を引けば全ては終わるのに動いてくれ。
This night changed him. Discovering who it is sent his entire life into a spiral. Maybe that's exactly what Johan wants, right? To deconstruct him. Is Johan just trying to make a man who can kill somebody out of somebody who could never kill? Somebody who has the desire to save deep down?
撃たなきゃ。
Turn the best human into a monster himself. Is he gonna look at the scope again? It's almost like he's challenging him. Unless Tenma is... Fuck me, Roberto being there. Fuck me, dude. I mean, thank you, Roberto, to be honest.
よく見てな。銃の撃ち方を。
Oh, he's gonna shoot Schubert, isn't he? Come on, throw yourself on him. Do it. Don't let him shoot Schubert. Don't let him shoot Schubert. Tenma, what are you fucking doing? We're really building that tension, holy fuck, dude. I want to believe he isn't gonna sit by. And we zoom away again. Fuck you, monster. Fuck you. Why the fuck are you carrying oil?
本当に大勢集まって盛況だことね。やっぱり人気者だわ。シューバルトさん。
Who are you? Why are you carrying, like, oil?
当大学にその膨大な蔵書を寄贈いただいたことで、バイエルン州に文化的にも多大な功績を残されることになりました。私は今、彼の名をご紹介できることを誇りに思います。
I swear if you cuck me a third time.
紳士淑女の皆様、ハンス・ゲオルグ・シューバルト氏です。
Is the crowd standing up actually obscuring his view? Or is he gonna shoot at Johann? No. And nobody noticed. For now. Alright. I wonder what's gonna happen.
私だろう。
大勢集まっていますよ。あなたのために大勢がうようよと。
そうだったのか。なんということを。声を出すな。おとなしく見てろ。いいな。みんな私の話を聞いてほしい。落ち着いて冷静に行動してほしい。
Is he gonna warn them?
目が見えない。ここに何人の人間が集まっているのかわからない。一度に動いてはいけない。
Johann already knows what he wants to say. The question is if Roberto can actually do something.
こうやっておとなしくしてろ。俺がやる仕事をよく見てるんだ。
Come on, Nina, where are you? I need you. Lunge, come in and fucking get him.
一列ずつゆっくりとここから逃げるんだ。
The antline? Are you for fucking real? What the fuck is she doing? And why is she doing it? Johann clearly knew this was gonna happen, so what's happening here? Is he gonna shoot in somebody in the chaos? Somebody's burning down this library. Fucking hell, dude. Y'all better get out.
どういうことだ。俺の仕事はシューバルトを撃つことだぞ。なんだこの日は。
Bro, can you stop being a crazy bitch?
この方がいい。ずっといいよ。アリだ、みんなアリみたいに火から逃げ回っている。
They are literally running from a fire, my dude.
すごいよ、ヨハン。すごい。
Bro, reaching for the gun, come on. You're so close, my dude. Just shoot Roberto, nobody needs him. Just do it. Nobody will miss him, literally.
本が燃えてしまう。
逃げ惑っています。誰もが我先にと折り重なるように。伝わりますか？この恐怖が。
I don't know if he's afraid or exhilarated. Like Schubert.
お前には無理だよ。撃たなきゃ。お前には撃てない。撃たなきゃ。お前はただの医者だ。お前には命を与えることしかできやしない。命を奪うのは俺の仕事だ。お前にはできない。
Come on, Tenma. I mean, it's kind of the opposite of his character, so. But he forced him. He forced him. Right? He can shoot to save his life. This is never gonna end, is it? Fuck it. Fuck it. Alright, we just keep going. I barely have the patience to wait for this recap. Are we gonna repeat this? I was like, what the fuck is happening? Honestly, I was hoping Monster isn't gonna go into that I'm gonna recap like 5 minutes of an episode thing, but... Minus 0.5 points, Monster. I'm sorry, but I had to do it to you. I don't think it's that great, but... whatever. Interesting, he was genuinely surprised that Tenma took the gun. This is gonna burn fast. They're all running around. Scrambling to escape. Can you feel it? The fear. First of all, good job, Schubert, on actually saving your son and getting him out of there. Prime job, my dude. Second of all, look at those quivering eyes. He himself is feeling fear, I think. Right? I'm still not sure if that's just excitement. That could be it, right? Because he kind of relates to Johann. He was like, I was also somebody who was like... But he seems to feel some form of remorse, or at the very least, maybe a little bit of regret for actually being that kind of person. But he feels like the shivers down his spine right now, even though he doesn't see that well. Oh, and we're just gonna jump into the OP without even just going to the actual timeline that we were at. That's what he said. But there is a difference, right? Survival. Boom, boom. Oh, we're here, okay. We're still back here. Look at that fucking face. That's a face only a mother could love. Maybe not even that. Just a doctor. You can only give life, not take it. And he wanted to shoot him here, right? And Tenma isn't gonna die. Yeah. I mean, don't be too overconfident. He didn't hit. Fuck me. Just shoot again, shoot again. Pull the fucking trigger. You got it, my dude. In before Lunga comes in, he's like, he wanted to kill someone, I knew it. This brave man, Roberto, is trying to stop him. I'm like, what the... Lunga, fucking... Let me slap you. The demon in my eyes. First time Tenma killed somebody. Holy shit. In self-defense, mind you, but still. Right? He killed. This is gonna haunt him. He had to check himself, feels like. He's done it. Question is if Johann is still there. With a pistol, my dude? Yeah, it's hard. You need to get close and dirty. Dude, like 5 breaths and you're gonna be unconscious. People underestimate how much a fire can actually... Oof. I mean, Johann ain't gonna kill him, I think. He's gonna save people, isn't he? He's gonna save them all. Instead of... This is why Johann set the fire, right? Because he knows that he can't ignore somebody who needs help. Out the windows. Upstairs, come on. Chop chop.
シューバルトさんをお連れしろ。
避難路は確保されているんですか？火の海の中にシューバルトさんを連れて行く気ですか？
ドアを叩き壊せ。はい。
The entire fucking library, all of that knowledge.
燃え上がっています。たくさんの書物が
You wanna do that? Burn books,
全
Johan?
てを焼き尽くそうとしていますよ。
Was that your desire?
ことはそれだけか。私に本を読んで聞かせていたように、この地獄絵を私に伝えればそれで満足か。お前の狙いは私になり変わることではなかったのか。
もうやめたんです。別のことが頭に浮かんだから。
And what idea is that? We're not gonna hear it, are we? Fuck me, dude. Of course, the mystery wouldn't be
あ
there.
なたは怖くないんですね。
お前はどこから来たんだ。お前は誰なんだ。
$1,000,000 question. I don't think Johan even knows that completely. Maybe he remembered it at this point.
僕が見えますか？ほとんど目の見えないあなたでもここまで近づけば。僕の目に映っているものが見えますか？僕はおとぎの国のような町で生まれた。
A town out of a fairy
た
tale.
くさんの人が死んでいた。もう一人の分身とそこを手をつないで歩いていた。
His sister.
世界に僕ら二人だけみたいだった。
There were only two like us.
僕らには名前がなかった。
No name. And the second one just arrived, possibly. Ooh, and she's flashing back to her family. Oh yeah, Dieter.
このお嬢さん、お前の知り合いか。
And they're starting to see the smoke. Shit. This is chaos, and this is what Johan... I mean, Johan is in the middle of that. He doesn't give a fuck, right? Holy... I mean, he's gonna get escorted out.
カール、取ってきてほしい書類がある。屋敷に
What is Carl gonna read? What is Carl gonna read?
机の上だ。
Said like Johan isn't what he seems to be. Is it like Johan's file? Is it Richard? Ooh, no, it's his mom. What's on those pages, my dude?
マルゴット・ランガーの死に関する調査報告書。ヘルフリッチュ探偵社。マルゴット・ランガー。本名ヘレンカ・ノバコバ。1955年8月
In Prague, Czechoslovakia. Okay, interesting.
1970年
Czech Republic at this point.
旧ドイツ連邦共和国に不法入国。
Into West Germany, right?
ミュンヘンのいわゆる高級コンガールとして
Munich.
世界人を中心に顧客を取り、その名前は上流社会では密かではあるが、
Okay.
存在となる。なお、顧客の中には本件の依頼人、ハンス・ゲオルグ・シューバルト氏も含まれている。父さん、あなたまだ母さんのこと調べていたんですね。
He liked her a lot.
22歳の時、シューバルト氏の子供を出産。その男の子の名はカール。
God.
いいカール、母さんの言うことよく聞いて。このお金を持って5番線の列車に乗るの。
母さんは
母さんは一緒に行けないって言ったでしょ。
僕も一緒にいるよ。
ダメ。母さんといるとここの施設に入れられる。ここにいればあなたは娼婦の子って言われ続ける。さあ早く。
Where did she send him?
僕は父さんに捨てられたって言ってた。
捨てられたんじゃない。母さんは恨んでないから。
He didn't know, right? That's the point. I mean, he had a suspicion. At least if I remember that correctly.
その子はいくつもの里親のもとを転々とした。
Foster homes, okay.
素晴らしい里親もいた。でも彼は孤独だった。ずっと孤独だった。なんてことはどこにも載ってないか。マルゴット・ランガーはその後も娼婦としては最高級の一人だったが、
1992.
引退。またコールガールから身を引く直前、闇の銀行の頭取と愛人関係にあったという情報もあるが、事実か否かは確認されていない。
Head of the black market bank. Didn't Johan infiltrate that?
銀行とは91年から約5年間、ドイツの暗黒社会のマネーロンダリング、すなわち不法な大金を極めて合理的に合法的な資金に変える業務を一手に独占した組織の暗黒街における
Money laundering.
娼婦を引退後、マルゴット・ランガーはヘッセン州オッフェンバッハ
Offenbach, okay.
写真は当時彼女のいたアパルトメントである。同居人には18歳ぐらいの少年がいたというが、二人の関係は不明である。
Who was
95年11月2日、
Johan, right?
ハイデ通りにて他殺体で発見される。警察のファイルによれば、事件は通り魔による犯行で、犯人は
Has this been a plan that has been going on for so fucking long?
なお、マルゴット・ランガーが死の3ヶ月前、友人に宛てた手紙を入手したので、
What friend though?
死を添付する。
My dear friend, thank you for your...
これは母さんの字。
私は仕事を辞めて今とっても静かな生活に入っています。この穏やかな生活の中で思うのは、別れた息子のこと、そして一緒にチェコの国境を越えよう
The son that I'm separated from and my friend who tried to cross the Czechoslovakian border with me was captured on the border and was taken back to Prague.
その後双子を出産して
Two twins, holy fuck. Her friend was Johan's mother.
別れた息子と同じ年頃の少年と知り合いました。その子の顔がチェコのその親友の顔にそっくりなのです。
Fuck me, it goes back
その
to...
少年といるとまるで息子と話しているよう。きっとあの子もこうして立派に育っている。きっとどこかで幸せに暮らしている。私はそう信じています。
I mean, this
僕はもう孤独じゃない。
is getting him closure, right? But
父さんはこの手紙を僕に読ませたかったんだ。母さんが父さんを恨んでないって言った意味、やっと分かったよ。大丈夫。
is that all?
僕にはも
Break them open, shoot them open, do whatever you can.
もうしたよ。
くそ、中は一体どうなってるんだこの図書館。
Are we gonna see the resolution or are we gonna see that next time? Fuck me, dude, I wanna see it this time. Please. Don't force me to watch another one. I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but... I don't want to neglect me talking about it either, so... Bro shoots out the door and hits Dr. Reichwein. Fuck me, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Help him. Yes, let's fucking go. He's going back in, right into the fire. And of course Nina is going in too. Is he still standing there? No. Bro, you're gonna pass out in just a couple of seconds. He's been expecting it. Can you kill the life that you've saved before? He had that a lot of times, right? And he's not in danger right now. He's not being threatened. So can he pull the trigger? What is he? Ooh. Very interesting. He's not unaffected. I'm very surprised that he doesn't have a scar here. Maybe cosmetic surgery as well. Schubert might die from like carbon dioxide poisoning. Oh. I would trust her more to shoot, but... both of them can't. Is this it? Is this it? Them just staring him down? And he's just looking at them, he's like, you can't. Just pull the fucking trigger. Do it. She ain't hitting, I think. Fuck me, dude. No! Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, holy shit. Fuck all you. Fuck all of you. Fuck all. Oh, holy fuck. I could just continue to watch. I will watch the next one. Fuck me, dude. I mean, we had a repeat of last scene. We're not gonna go through that piece by piece, right? I've said a lot of things that I've said like during the episode. Johan, at the moment, I feel like Johan just wants to create chaos, right? How much of this did he predict, right? Nina being here, Tenma being here. I mean, both of those are predictable to a degree, but to which degree and in which situation specifically? What did he tell the fucking blonde lady to fucking set this whole thing on fire? I don't understand. I literally don't understand. What did he get? Does she have some kind of grudge or something? Like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, this guy probably has a lot of enemies, right, Schubert? We have that stare down here. And Tenma, as always, he's fighting with himself, kind of. It's very interesting to me that we do have this idea of like, you're a doctor, you can only give life. And we go back to the instructor who was like this will be the decision point for you. If you are ever able to pull the trigger, and every time you can't, it's gonna reinforce the part of you that can't, right? But we did realize very soon that he can pull the trigger under the right circumstances. And that is survival, right? Because then, in his own moral sense, in his own view, it is justified, of course, right? It is understandable in his own viewpoint when he actually has to do it. Either he dies or somebody else dies, right? Then it's justified. But other than that, he's still hanging on to this idea. He was genuinely surprised. He didn't expect that. And that shocked him enough, and like the pain shocked him enough to actually hesitate long enough to be shot right into the heart. And Tenma actually did that, and it's probably gonna gnaw on him down the line, right? But he's telling that to himself. He's like, the chittering is gone. I'm like, I have done it. He hasn't shot me, right? He had to check because he didn't have that, right? He was so full of adrenaline that he didn't have the feeling. And he had to check. He knows that as doctor. I love some of these frames that we're doing, right? The way he's leaning on the books and everything, looking at his hands. The way we play with the lighting. We had that with the fire episode in the Kinderheim with Dieter and whatnot. We had a similar kind of lighting. He's running through the smoke, and he's only realizing that other people are trying to escape when he's stumbling over them. But like I said during the thing, I said, him standing here, he knew, right? First of all, he's telling Schubert something, right? He had a better idea than to take over Schubert's stuff. So in a way, it feels a lot like what we've learned from that book, right? And I still can't really break that apart properly. I do know the twins, right? The two monsters, the monster who split into two. I guess that was the mother who got the two twins, right? Czechoslovakia. That's what connects them to Margot Lagner too, right? Or Langer. I don't know. Right. Maybe I'm dyslexic. I don't know. Margot Langer, I think it is. But splits into two, and one goes to the east and one goes to the west, which I find very interesting because first they both went kind of to the west, I feel, to the east, I feel, right? Because they were like grown up in like Kinderheim or whatnot, which was like, wait, where was Kinderheim? Was it Berlin? Because if Kinderheim was in Berlin, it makes sense because then we have East and West Berlin and they were separated into the two Kinderheims, right? I guess him trying to acquire these names is more like trying to get close to people and then take over their purposes, right? Take over like what Schubert thought he was going to do with him, right? Take over their position, right? Take over their power, Right? Learn everything from them that they can, but once he's done that, he's gonna eat them whole. Right? He's hungry in a way. Hungry for more. Hungry for new stuff. And at some point, right, he's gonna eat that person whole, right? He's gonna destroy what they have built, or maybe just them, right? Because he has to get rid of them in a way in order to replace them fully. But once he's gotten rid of them, suddenly he isn't able to hold that name anymore. I'm not quite sure what I want to make of that, right? Like eating them whole and just bursting out of them, and then just suddenly they're not that anymore, right? They're the monster. And now they hate a nameless monster again, and they're going in search again. But it does feel a lot like he's wandering through life trying to find a reason to live, right? Trying to find anything. Because he doesn't seem to find it. Now, does he still have the urge to kill? I don't know, right? Because he was always not the person killing people himself, right? He was always the person manipulating other people to get killed, right? And I do wonder if this is just his instrument to get what he wants, right? The way he has learned from the ground up to actually get what he wants, or if it is something that gives him pleasure in and of itself. We do know that he gets pleasure from the fear of people, right? Or from chaos in general, right? Or manipulating people, right? Seeing how it affects them. And he's very good at that at this point in time. I guess he would be if you learn from all of these people, right? And destroy them from the inside out. But it feels a lot like he's experimenting at this point, and there's like he has certain structures and power structures built up, but he's more acting on a whim in many like situations. Like he's killing people, yes, but he's often killing people who could be dangerous to him, right? Could be like telling on him and like ruin his, like mean that he's getting behind bars, right? Being prosecuted for his crimes, or people who would maybe be capable of stopping him and killing him and whatnot. Find it very interesting that he kept Nina alive, that he kept Tenma alive, both of them. Right? And he seems to be not like feel that there's no danger from them. At the very least, he thinks that. I don't know. Like Nina actually took the shot, so there's that. But he he was like, I was originally, like the way he phrased that here when he was conversing with Schubert, it felt like he was saying, I originally planned to replace you, right? Take over all your shit. But now I'm thinking of something else, right? Maybe I'm using you, I'm keeping you as my puppet, or Carl, or whatever. I'm gonna do something completely else that I fancy right now, right? And I do wonder what brought him to that idea. Maybe it was him reading the children's book, right? The picture book, and getting those repressed memories back. And he was like, okay, I have a different idea. I can still use this for the new idea that I have, but I have a different idea, and I do wonder what that is, right? Because it feels very much like there's a reason the show draws these parallels, and the ant line is basically him just playing around, right? Testing. What can I do? What can I get away with? How do people react to what I'm doing, right? What does it do with their behavior, right? They're scrambling like ants here, right? Like an ant nest or an ant colony that you just drowned or that you just threw fire into, basically. And he's just destroying this. And he wants Schubert to know who he or what he is. What can you see in my eyes? And he's telling the story about him and Nina, the two monsters, although I wouldn't never consider Nina a monster. She's certainly capable of becoming that if she wants to be. But she doesn't want to be, right? She was brought up differently. That's what I mean, like brought up in the West, brought up in the East. And the East, the monster is longing for more, right? There's something missing inside, and he's trying to fill that hole, and he hasn't been able to do so ever since. But the monster that came from the West was like, I'm just a nameless monster, and that's fine the way it is, right? She's like been confronted with the reality of her past to a degree, right? Not fully, but even now, like one episode ago, even more now, remembering more, understanding more. But she's at the point where she's like, I'm okay with that. I can process that. I can get over that. I'm still me, because she has a defined identity. She grew up in a relatively healthy environment with love, with affection being shown, with a relatively normal and stable life in different phases. Probably different, very sensitive window phases of her development. Nina arriving here, flashing back to her parents, which is insane, right? Thinking about that, right? Arriving somebody, out of breath, expecting Johan, being like, holy shit. And then she and Dieter meet and they see like some shit happening. Carl is Carl. That is a nice story, a very interesting story, and it's filling in a lot of gaps for us, right? He's giving Carl closure, which is very important. Carl is like, yeah, my father, like, Schubert really cared about her, like, and she seemed to be relatively happy for the time that she was living somewhere else, and she was hoping that Carl was doing okay, doing better, maybe. Hoping that for him. And she never hated Schubert, right? All of her history, right? And she met an old friend who wanted to go back to the Czech Republic or to Czechoslovakia back then, right? But has twins, right? And lately she's been living or meeting an 18-year-old who seems kind of just like he is her son's age and whatnot. And this must have been Johan, right? Because he reminds her so much of like that friend she had that got the twins. And we are slowly filling out that picture. But obviously we still don't know what it means in the grand scheme of things. We can only like guess at these things. Even like the money laundering schemes and whatnot, right? Which we know Johan was, or is at least at this point in time, like a year back or something, involved in. And then she died mysteriously at some point in time for whatever reason, right? Maybe so Johan can instrumentalize her. And now he's changing his mind again. But Carl doesn't know that yet. I do wonder if that's... I asked, is that everything in the document? Because I was like, I thought Schubert might warn Carl about Johan, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe he didn't want to do that after all. And now we're here with Tenma, and as always, right? Tenma is like, save people first. Because as fucking hell, that's what it is. That's what it always comes down to, and I wonder if Johan had that idea. He was like, I know what I'm gonna do, right? I know Tenma wants to kill me at this and this conference is probably the most likely place. Let me set everything on fire. Not only for that, but also it's gonna create chaos and a lot of people will be in danger. And Tenma will be like tempted to rescue them first, right? Get them out of there. And that's what happens, right? He's rescuing them. I do wonder what impression he left on them, because he had a gun, but also he helped them and didn't do them anything to them. And this is where it comes to a head again, right? Him aiming at Johan, and once again he's hesitating. He's hesitating. Johan, interesting. This gesture, right? He like, it's really weird how he's like, I almost can't do that. Or maybe it's this way around. No, it must be this way around. He's like rubbing his hand. It's very curious. I do wonder what that means. Is that like an old... Oh no, the other way, the other side. Okay, this is easier. I'm sometimes like, I'm not good with like movements and coordination, right? I'm okay, right? But sometimes I couldn't do a choreography. Let me say it like that. It's very interesting how he's rubbing his hand. It's almost like he's comforting himself. Or maybe this is like an old like neurological thing that he has pain in, or he can't like... This happens often if people have like neurological damage or whatever, or they had an accident or whatnot. There can be like searing pain, like fire in some of their like limbs or whatever, right? From like nerves misfiring and whatnot, and it can be very painful. Or maybe it's just something he can't move properly since he got that thing. But it's very interesting how he just walks towards Tenma, and he's so self-assured that he's not gonna shoot. He's going up and he's like, the other hand, of course. Right here. Put it right here. Love how the hand is over his like face and it's creating a shadow on this side. Like Schubert might be dying from carbon monoxide poisoning, to be honest, right? At this point, bro is old, bro is like, he isn't the best with his lung capacity probably, so who knows. But yeah, Tenma can't, and then Nina appears and she's like aiming at him, and he's like, I don't want you to become a killer, and she's like, I don't want you to become a killer, and they're at a standstill. Fuck me, dude, fuck me. Why the fuck? Damn it. And he's like, I'm gonna do it if you're not gonna do it. He's looking back and he's like, I know both of you ain't gonna do it right now. Or maybe Tenma, because Nina actually pulls the trigger. She's like, I need to pull the trigger here. He doesn't want Tenma to be a killer, and I guess she wants to end it. She did it before, right? This is the thing. She did it before. So at least Johan knows, or I don't know if he remembers that part, but Johan should know that she's capable of it. And everything collapses, and we don't know if she's dead or alive or whatnot. Tenma's gonna try and save Nina no matter what. So I do want, and Johan can escape in the meantime, right? If he wants to. But yeah, we're gonna get into the next one. Fuck me, dude. I'm gonna make a quick cut because I don't want to run out of space. Right, boys, we're back for Monster, episode 39. I don't know why we went on this fucking marathon, but it's just one after another, and I do want to know how this turns out. So let's get this party started in a 3, a 2, a 1. 5 dead, 34 injured. Holy fuck. Bro, where was Lunge? By the way, if I'm kind of scooting around, I'm sorry about that, but I've been sitting for a long time. It actually... Let's go. And Nina is saved. What happened? What fucking happened? Where's Tenma? I mean, probably dropped Nina off at the hospital and was like, deuces. I'm always hoping they get to talk a little bit more, but... I know what they can, why they can't normally. They're both too driven, although, as we can see, even Tenma's drive, it's not enough. The hell in his eyes. That's what Schubert saw, isn't it? Library of Alexandria, anyone?
焼け残った銃ですから指紋は出るかどうか。銃の種類は間違いなくドクター天馬と思われる日本人が購入したモーゼル SR93 なんですがね。しかしこう焼けてしまっては犯人の痕跡を見つけ出すのも難しいですね。痕跡のない現場などない。
Is Schubert dead? Because that's important.
鑑識に回せ。ある場所に誰かがいた。痕跡を残さずにそこから立ち去ることができる人間などいない。そんなことができるとしたら、そいつは人間じゃない。じゃあ、
Johan, for example.
何の痕跡もなかったとしたら、そいつは悪魔だ。
A demon.
この世にそんなものはいない。だから我々に逮捕できない犯人などいない。
I guess he must believe that.
面会できるか。ああ、今は集中治療室にいます。
Damn.
やけどはそんなにひどくないらしいのですが、何しろあの年齢ですし、一応面会謝絶ということで。行くぞ。え？
He's going in. He doesn't fucking care.
面会は許可できません。意識はあるんでしょう。ほんの数分で引き上げますよ。シューバルト氏は非常なショック状態にあります。しばらくは絶対安静です。あの人はシューバルトさんの息子さんです。この度はお父様が大変なことで。私はドイツ連邦捜査局のルンゲと申します。
さっきも警察の人にお願いしたんですが、探してほしい人間が。誰ですか？
あなたのお父様を暗殺しようとした人間です。
You fuck, Lunge, shut the fuck up.
本当にご存じない？
僕は知りません。もしかしたら彼なら。
彼？
そうです。それを言いたかったんです。彼を探してください。 ヨハン・リーベルト。
Find Johann Liebert.
ヨハンも父と一緒に図書館のセレモニーに出席していたはずなん
And
で
he's
す。
gone.
でもどこを探しても行方がわからなくて。
ヨハン・リーベルト。わかりました。
Is this just fitting into his construct? Is this just fitting into his construct? It's like, ah, yeah, Tenma convinced all of these people.
もう2週間ほど前に引き払ってますけど。
No traces, nothing. Everything is perfectly clean, nothing to note. It's like nobody lived there.
法学部の学籍には彼の名前はありませんでした。偽学生ですね。
Tended to be a student.
連絡は？はあ、そっちももぬけの殻でした。
They're gone.
近所付き合いもなかったようで。一応この部屋の指紋採取しときますか。おそらく何も出ないだろう。
Yeah, but still try it, Lunga.
入力データなし。初めて見たよ。これほど人が存在した痕跡のない部屋はね。 私はヨハン・リーベルト。私は誰だ？私はここにいた。
Is he finally on it? Is he finally on it?
悪魔か。
Has he found his arch nemesis at last? Holy shit. Hopefully.
軽い怪我で。
心配かけてごめんね、ロッテ。
そうよ、ほんと心配したんだから。次々とみんな救出されてくるのに、あなたの姿がなくってどうなるかと思った。でもあの火災の中からその怪我でよく一人で出てこられたね。
I don't think she got out
びっ
herself.
くりしてた。
助けてもらったから。
助けてもらった？あなた、
Hmm.
最後にあの中から出てきたのよ。
日本人。どこかの病院に日本人の医者が収容されてない？
日本人は何人かいたけど、確かみんな企業の人で。
そんなはずない。だってあの人はどんちょうの下敷きになった私を。
He just went his way again. Like he's living at it. He's living through it again.
あの人は確かにあそこにいた。
あなたは火災が起きる直前、セレモニーの出席者に向かって直ちに避難するよう呼びかけたそうですね。
Is he gonna talk?
そんなことをなさったんですか？あなたは前もって何かを感知していた。違いますか？シューバルトさん。
Or is he too afraid?
そろそろこの辺で。
それと、この男ご存知ありませんか？このぐらい近づければ見えますか？あなたを暗殺しようとした男です。確かに図書館にいたという目撃者がいるんです。目撃者の証言によると、この男、人命救助をしていたというんですがね。
He isn't even looking at it.
終わりにしてください。
何か思い出したらすぐに連絡ください。
Alright. He clearly does not want to talk about it.
あなたの秘書のヨハン・リーベルトの行方をご存知ありませんか？
He's shaking. Lunga notices.
もうお引き取りください。
I understand you, Carl, but
だったようですね。まああの年であんな恐ろしい目に遭えば無理ありませんけどね。
nah.
バイエルンの吸血鬼と言われた財界の帝王もここまでですね。
いや、
あ
あれは全てを認識している目だよ。
お
他の目撃者を当たってみよう。被害者の名簿はあるか？
はい。
I mean, except for Tenma, Lunge is actually really good.
天馬らしき人物が人命救助をしていたという証言。やはりこれも多重人格ってやつですかね。
Nina.
ニナ・フォルトナ。
Ooh. Will he be able to talk to her? He remembers her. He remembers her. Didn't she want to convince them that Tenma isn't a killer?
フォルトナーさんなら今朝退院
Of course.
したけど
You just
警察の名簿に記入された住所は架空のものでした。病院の方は
あ、はい調べてみます。
ニナ・フォルトナ。ハイデルベルクで殺害されたフォルトナー家の娘。
he remembers.
現在行方不明。
And she met Reichwein.
してくれたね。天馬から聞いたここ10年間に及ぶ物語と完全に合致する。
天馬
そう。彼は一連の事件を追ってここに現れた。そしてすぐに立ち去った。ヨハンを暗殺する。
We're starting to become a network. Even if it's a small one.
あの図書館で天馬は暗殺計画を実行に移すのではと思い、私は駆けつけた。ところがあの大火災。ヨハンはもとより天馬に至ってはあの時あそこにいたかどうかさえわからない。
She's convinced Tenma was there, which is true, of
ヨハ
course.
ンを追うなんてことはやめるんだ。君の手に負える相手じゃない。確かに警察は協力的じゃない。ここは一つ腰を据えてじっくり戦おう。真実はいつか証明される。大丈夫だ。私たちがついてる。疲れてるだろう。しばらくうちでゆっくりするといい。
あの時いたんです。
え？
あの時あの人は確かにあの図書館にいたんです。天馬は確かにいたんです。
He saved her again. What's going on? What's going on inside of you? Teacher, yeah.
何か食べなきゃ。
ありがとうリータ。
パンはカイザーゼンメル。ロースハムとゴーダチーズを挟んだの。天馬の大好物。
He misses him.
います。
Teacher misses him.
本当？
美味しいもの食べると元気になる。
天馬もいつもそう言ってた。
会いたいね。天馬に会いたいね。
You both share that feeling.
そろそろいい季節になりますね。
I wonder where he is right now.
体が良くなったら旅行でもどう
I mean, of course, he had to get the hell out of
アジ
Dodge.
アの方なんかどうです？気分転換になると思いますよ。これからはもう少しゆったりとしてください。父さん、
Hmm.
もう十分戦ってきましたよ。
Is he gonna tell him something?
星。
え
？3匹の
Three.
何が言いたいんですか？
3匹のカエル。
Three.
彼の目。
His eyes.
彼の目の中に地獄があった。
I could see hell in his eyes.
人間の目の中に地獄があった。カール、
はい。
ある男に伝えてほしいことがある。
はい。
ドレスデンだ。ある男が待っている。
ドレ
Dresden.
スデン。何を伝えればいいんですか？はい。その男にドレスデンに行って伝えればいいんですね。今 今すぐですか？わかりました。すぐに行ってきます。
カール、母さんは私を恨んでいただろう。
いいえ、
She didn't.
恨んでなんかいませんでした。
カール、
Is this his dying words?
来たら私とずっと一緒にいてくれるか。
はい。
Or maybe not.
怖い？何が？
よくわからないけど、
Ooh.
とっても怖い。
She's talking to Rudy.
焦らなくていい。ゆっくりと。
おとぎの国のような街。
おとぎの国？どこだい？それは。君がこの絵本を見たときに感じたもの。何でもいい。頭に浮かんだものを言ってごらん。
She's starting to shake. Much like Johan, right?
ドクター・ギーリン、
いや、もう少し。
もうやめて。
No, don't stop.
3匹。
Three. He's just saying the same thing.
3匹のカエル。
Three frogs. What does it mean?
カエル？なんだ、それは。え？
A picture of three frogs.
気を失ったという絵本の中に？
その絵本の中には3匹のカエルなんてどこにも出てこないわ。
Hmm.
どこでそれを見たんだ？
It's really hard, right?
もういい。今日はこれくらいにしよう。
はい。
We set up the connection though, right? The aftermath. Bro, for the love of God, please stop eating Weisswurst. Fucking hell. Disgusting.
ルンゲという連邦捜査局の刑事に頼ったのが間違いでした。
ああ、私も作戦を変えた方がいいと思う。
今度は警察に
A lot is involved now.
上層部に直接交渉しなければ。それも時間をかけて徹底的に裏付け調査した資料を叩きつけてね。
時間をかけてってどれくらいですか？
今はあまりにもヨハンの情報が曖昧だし少なすぎる。ヨハンが秘書を務めていたシューバルと彼が何か情報を持っていると思うが。
But he's not talking either.
まだ面会謝絶。息子のカールは？
それが2日前からどこかに出かけていて連絡が取れません。
定かではないが、目撃証言の中には東洋人が人命救助をしたという証言。
Lot have seen him too.
だが、もし現場で発見されたと言われる狙撃銃に天馬の指紋でも
He's gonna be suspected even more.
どんな証言も何の役にも立たない。
いつまで待てばいいんですか？時間がないんです。真実が明らかになって警察が動き出すとき、その時はもう
He'll have everything under his control. And Tenma will be either a killer or dead.
ニーナ、
ごめんなさい。
ニーナ、君の気持ちはよくわかる。私もこの事件でリヒャルトという大切な友人を失った。彼には明るい未来があった。だが、ヨハンは彼のその未来を断ち切った。私は引き下がらん。絶対に。さあ、食おう。
3匹のカエル。
You remember something more?
おとぎの国のような街。
Turn out of a fairy tale. It's like she's reciting something, right? Closing your eyes. Sleeping. And sometimes stuff comes to you right before you fall asleep. She knows. Okay, so who is she gonna tell? Or is she just gonna get the fuck out of there? And rely only on herself once again? I hope she left a note at least, being like, hey, by the way. Of course Dieter's coming, of course. Dieter, I love you. Bro, I love you, my dude. You are amazing.
あなたはダメ。ここにいるの。いいわね。ラヒワイン先生にはお世話になりましたってお礼を言っておいて。
Nah, Dieter's coming. If you want or not. This is so cool how that parallels Tenma and Dieter.
ディータ。
会いたいんだ。
This is so cool how it parallels that moment when he was at the bus stop, right? He's gonna follow you. You just gotta accept it. What are you gonna do? Shoot him? Pause. She's not Johan, okay? Who is he gonna meet in Dresden?
駅前広場で待てと言ったってこうだだっ広いんじゃ。
Weird.
さん、あなたの言っていたある男には会えそうにもありませんよ。
Why did he send him with so little instructions? Is that the man? Is it Tenma? Ooh, just Tenma.
カール。
They talked for a second.
あなたは君のお父さんの暗殺を企てた男。警察はそう言っていたかい。ええ。3日間ビルの上から君を見ていた。警察の尾行はついていないようだ。伝言聞かせてくれるかい。
He saved him. Fuck me, dude. Holy shit.
君は早く逃げろ。警察が来る。しかしドレスデンだ。駅前広場で待て。息子のカールが伝言を伝える。
Holy shit, Schubert knows how to be secret.
これを。チェドック橋。3匹のカエル。そして父は
Chaddock Bridge.
君の追っている怪物がもしも双子なら。
双子の母親は
Their mother is alive and living in Prague. And he knows that? Does Johan know that? Holy. Maybe Johan doesn't know that actually. First time we have more information than Johan? Fucking Pog? Ooh, the castle. Cool. So weird how he or she sings purity. But yeah, I'm not gonna look what the next episode is gonna be called. Let's rewind for a second. It's not gonna take long, don't you worry. We already have like way too long. And my battery is getting warm again, which is telling me that we should be relatively quick. Saved once again by Tenma, huh? Again, parallels, right? Her waking up in a bed, in a hospital bed, saved by Tenma, like he did when she was a child. And also like kind of he saved her in Heidelberg, right? She didn't wake up in a hospital bed there, but it was kind of the same, right? And she's like, I mean, almost doubting herself, maybe being like, he was here, I know he was here. Because like there was no trace of him after that, and obviously he had to get the hell out of Dodge. With Lunge looking for him, with all kinds of people looking for him. Alright, we have the gun type, we don't have the fingerprints. We're asking people, and Lunge knows now, right? He knows Johan. But he's still convinced Tenma wanted to or he's still holding on to that theory that Tenma wanted to assassinate Schubert. Right, so how does he reconfine that? How does he reconfine that with who he truly thinks, right? Like the monster, right? Does he think that this creation here, right, with his picture and whatnot, that this is just a random picture and people have been actually duped to believe this is the guy who rented this and who is a student and whatnot, and that actually Tenma lived here or something, and that it was Tenma who cleared all of these traces, which kind of he came in the room and he was like, I've never seen a room that was so devoid of any traces of somebody living there. And then how does he conjoin that with the fact that he's found so many traces of Tenma at different crime scenes and different stuff, right? How does he get that onto one line of logic? Or is he starting to doubt and starting to understand that there might be something very, very, like a ghost, a demon, like he says, being there and pulling the strings and actually being involved in this? Because he's got more and more mentions of Johann Liebert. And at this point in time, right, everybody is showing that, and he's like this is the guy who's like assassinated, or this is the guy. And then everybody's like, I never seen this guy. But then they're like, oh, Johann Liebert, right? They know Johann Liebert. They don't know the guy that like Tenma, that you're showing to them. So how do you, right? How do you not see that? But maybe he's starting to see. We don't know that. Let me actually see something. I wanted to see Nina when she wakes up, right? Oh yeah. She's pretty banged up. Holy fuck. I mean, it makes sense, right? With all of that's happening, right? Asking for Tenma and all of that. And remembering him in the fire, right? For having that vivid memory, being like, no, he was there. Right? Her just reaching for it and just being back. Like a flashback, like a trauma flashback almost. But also, right, that quick flash of Tenma, his eyes and everything. He was definitely there just before the fire started, and we go, and Schubert is out of it. He's like, holy fucking shit, right? But he's helping Tenma, which means he must be at least partially against Johann, right? He's not too afraid to be like, okay, I'm gonna relay information, right? But not here, not this way, not too risky. He knows how to do stuff on the down low, not too risky. Maybe Johann knows about it, but right, Johann didn't care to stop it so far. So Tenma got the information. And we don't know if Johann does have that information, but more about that in a bit. Nina disappearing too, much like Tenma, right? And it's like, oh, Nina Fortner, wait, she was the one who, like, right, Heidelberg family, whatever, she also said that Johann was the one responsible. He goes there to interrogate her. She's gone. She's gone again. Address was wrong, all of that. But she's talking to Reichwein, and I love that because we do actually start to get a little network of people. We have Rudy, we have Reichwein, we have Nina, we have Dieter, who is a kid, but also very resourceful, right? And like can be very useful in certain situations. I don't know where Lunge is and how we can pull him in. Eva is somewhere recovering, so she's probably out of the picture for a good minute or two, right? Maybe in 10 episodes or something, she's going to show up again, and who knows what she's going to do at that point in time, where she is from her mindset. Maybe she's come around, or maybe she's just going to keep herself out of that, right? Out of all of that, trying to find something. But yeah, Dieter getting her roast ham and Gouda cheese. Okay, Tenma. I mean, this is not what I would eat, but it's fine. Right, Tenma's favorite. I love Dieter because he's so relatable, right? Even as an adult, right? You relate to this kid. This kid has seen shit, right? So he's a lot more mature than other adults, but he has still that. He has that energy, right? That innocence in there, which was like on a deep level, you can connect to that, like your inner child. Everybody of us has an inner child in a way, right? You can connect to that, right? What he feels, and oftentimes he just speaks his mind and he talks about the things he feels and he wishes and whatnot, and you connect to that, especially here, right? Dieter misses Tenma. He wants to see Tenma, and then Nina is looking at him and she's like, I want to see him. And we do have that. The way she's looking up there. It's almost, I don't want to say anything weird, right? I don't know how that's taken up, but I've had a good hunch about stuff like that in past series and how we set that up. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nina is actually really infatuated by Tenma in a way, right? So either, right, we did have that in the beginning when he actually called her and all of that stuff, right? He's appearing when she's about to be killed, and we have that image of like the prince, right? But we kind of diluted that a lot in the series, right? Because they went their own ways in many ways, right? They did their own things. They actually they've acted a lot independently, made their own relations, right? Made their own experiences. Went as they went after Johann, both with the same goal in mind, with the same stuff going on in a way, but from different perspectives, right? She as the twin sister, right, and him as like the person who saved his life. She as the person who just recently discovered she killed him, right, or tried to kill him, and him as the person who's like, right, saved him and maybe regrets it deeply. Even though I don't think, I think he would make the decision over and over again, even if he could redo it. Because he just can't keep that from happening. And we have the message relayed, and it's interesting how he's really, will you stay with me? So he just wants, I guess he just wants him close, right? And he has these regrets. He's like, your mother, she must have hated me, right? He's blaming himself for many things. He's not that, like, maybe he was one foot into that monster that he's been telling Reichwein about when they talked, but he wasn't fully in there, right? And he took the step back, and now he's like trying to make things good again. At least that's how it feels in many ways. Nina's thinking about the same concepts, right? She's like trying to think of the three frogs and whatnot, and like, because she's remembering that piece of information for some reason or another, and Rudy is trying to get her in the mindset to actually remember these things, right? You sit them down, you're trying to associate stuff with it, like smells, like visual impressions, thoughts, right? Anything you can grab onto so the associations start firing. Which can work, but it can also just not work. But oftentimes it needs time, right? Again, we have our crew. Even Lotte is involved and knows about these things now, right? So, I mean, I feel sorry for her because now she's in danger as well, but more and more people know, and that's a good thing, right? And I do hope, like, maybe Johann's parents actually got out of there and were able to flee, but it's also possible they just got disappeared. Either way, they say, like, we need to do this slow burn style, right? We need to be careful and we need to be slow. Nina going to bed, and she's closing her eyes. The moment she closes her eyes and she's slowly going into that sleep dimmer, suddenly the information pops in. Often happens that way, right? You don't, like, when you don't like over focus on trying to remember it and like go in there and you're like, yeah, I need to remember, right? You just let go and let your mind just wander, and suddenly it's like, boom, there it is. And she remembered. And she's shaking, and she's like, I know, the 3 frogs and whatnot, right? That information that we get from Carl in just a bit. And she's like, see you soon. It's like, I guess she hasn't written a note. Fuck, come on, Nina, please. Okay, communicate with people. At the very least, if you are insisting on being alone and actually making your own way and whatnot, but at least fucking communicate with people. Don't be like Dr. Tenma, please. Tenma is way too much like, Zio, douches, right? Not in that way, but like in the way of like just not wanting to involve other people. But that's wrong. She goes, and I the moment I heard the gate, I was like, right, I know it's Dieter. It's fucking Dieter, and I knew it. Of course I knew it. He with his soccer ball, with his football man, standing there being like, I'll go with you. Just like, no, you can't do that. Like, I don't want to get you in danger, right? Just turning around, and it's so lovely how we are paralleling that, right? The moment at the bus stop, Tenma going, being like, no, Dieter, you can't, right? Turning around, going a bit, Dieter kicking the ball in his direction, and a couple of times where he turns around, he's like, no, Dieter, no. But Dieter's like, I'm going. I want to see him. He like throws it back to her, and she's like, I can't stop him. And she's right. She's fucking right. She wants to see him too, right? They both want to. And then Dresden, like kind of like middle, more east Germany, right? Like more towards the east, let's say it like that. Walking past each other, and Tenma's like up and looking that the police aren't watching us, and then I was like, it gets revealed, right? My son is gonna tell you. And then he's like, she's still alive in Prague. And we know that. Does Johann know it? Did Schubert tell him, or did Johann actually, was he able to get to the paperwork, information, letters, whatever, right? The investigation papers that let Schubert know that this is the case. Because if he does, he's going to Prague. We know that, right? And Tenma's gonna go right after him, and Nina's right after him. So we're all gonna meet up back in Prague for fucking sure. And like Tenma doesn't even have a headway because there's a couple like a week or two between that where he waited for Carl and then got the message from Carl and then headed out, right? Or maybe like 3 or 4 days, but either way, he got held up a little bit. So they're somewhat on a similar timeline, Nina and Tenma. I do wonder if, like, in a twist of the usual formula that we had so far, we're actually gonna meet along the way and we're gonna be like, wait, hello? Right? What are you doing here? Right? I wonder if that's the case, right? If we're actually, instead of like everything building up and them doing their own thing and then them coming together again for like 2 seconds and then parting ways again in chaos and tragedy, if we're actually suddenly in a complete twist of what we've had so far, meeting along the way and then actually deciding to go together. I would very much like that, but I don't know if it's going to work out from like a drama and story suspense point, right? Because like Nina and Tenma meeting is always a very special occasion. It's always like the culmination of an arc, right? The peak of tension, right? Because we're like, what's going to happen? Well, how are they going to, right? They're going to see each other again, and right? Are they maybe going to stick together finally, right? And tackle this together? But no. Every time it's like, no. But it makes perfect sense with who they are and what characters they are and whatnot, right? Because they want to, like, at least so far, they wanted to keep the other out of this. But at this point, they should realize the other one is gonna go after Johann anyway, right? Both are gonna go after Johann. You can't say, like, don't do that, I'm gonna take care of this. This ain't gonna work, right? Both of them are gonna go. So yeah, at least at this point, they need to realize that and understand that together they have better chances, probably. Either way, if Johann doesn't know, this would be the first time that we actually, even if it's absolutely tiny, have an advantage over him. Marvelous conclusion to an arc. I don't want to see what the next one is. Sure as hell probably gonna be very interesting. Grimmer is the name. This is the last file I have, which is very interesting. But yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this. I think like on YouTube, this is probably gonna come around after Christmas, right? This is gonna be public after Christmas. On Patreon, it could drop as early as, I don't know, 1st of December. It could also drop in the 2nd December week or some. I don't know for sure yet. It could even drop in November, but unlikely, right? Unlikely. Like it's only a couple of days for November at this point in time. But yeah, I'll be seeing you next time on Monster. I hope you'll have a good one, and goodbye.